I'm just going to do a quick run through sketching exponentials. Now your basic equation is y equals a to the x. You revisit this when you do logs and exponentials. Now when x equals 0, y will be a to the 0, so it'll just be 1. So regardless of what that number a is any number. When you put it to the power of 0, it'll always be 1. So now when you go to sketch this, it actually looks like this and through 1. If you're unsure of that, you could always plot points, but that's your basic equation shape. Now, then when you have y equals a to the minus x, the basic shape of that equation would be going down. It would be the negative one because it flips over. And then the only other thing is to just be aware that this x-axis is actually an asymptote. And this one here is also an asymptote. But it's an asymptote as x is going to negative infinity there. Because see how it's getting closer and closer? Never cuts. This one, as it's going to negative infinity, gets closer and closer, but never cuts. So the actual asymptote is y equals 0, which is the x-axis, and this one's y equals 0 with the x-axis. We might just look at also the domain and range of these. So the domain for both of them will be all real x. Because you can see with this here, you actually do have graph for negative x, you have graph for positive x. Negative x, positive x. Okay. And then your range. Now, before I do that, in interval notation, that domain would have been minus infinity to infinity. And now for the range. So if you look at the range, what values of y is this actually true for? So if you look at here, we don't have any y below the x-axis. But as soon as you start going above it, you don't get y straight away because it never equals 0. But anything above 0, you have curve. Okay, it may not look like it, but as it keeps going on to infinity, eventually it will have curve there. So basically the range would be, the y value would have to be greater than 0. And if you put in interval notation, you put a bracket like that, and then you go to infinity. Because it can't equal 0, because it never cuts it, because at 0 it is actually an asymptote.